Hello, Jonathan here again. I thought I'd do another video because I really wanted to talk about season 7. Before I do that, just carrying on from the theme of meeting Jon Pertwee, I dug up this micro cassette. My original player doesn't work. It threw it out years ago. Finally got a new player, and here's just a little sneak preview of me actually speaking to the third actor, Jon Pertwee, just to whet your appetite, because I will hopefully be putting more up in the near future. So here we go. Me talking to Pertwee.
Without doubt you were a brilliant doctor. I was, you're good, I'm just a discerning man you are.
Not a very good quality that, but I basically said to Jon Pertwee, without doubt you're a brilliant doctor, and he said, you're quite right, what a discerning man you are. And you probably know I am a huge fan of Jon Pertwee. I love the era. I think certainly season 7, Jon Pertwee's first season, is my favourite season of Doctor Who ever. I think it was very refreshingly different from the first 6 years of Doctor Who, which were wonderful in their own ways. And I'm a big fan of William Hartnell, who started it off, and Patrick Troughton, who had the very difficult job of being the first actor to take on replace a previous Doctor. I think that was quite remarkable what he did, but he proved it could work. And Jon Pertwee did that again in 1970 when he became the Doctor. In fact, he was chosen to become Doctor Who number 3 by producer Derek Sherwin, and the first episode of his story, his era, was Spearhead from Space, episode 1, written by the great writer, Doctor Who writer Robert Holmes, featuring the Autons. You know, remember the dummies that come through the windows in the high street, smash through the glass? That was great. In fact, they came back for the debut of the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, in 2005. Of course, season 7 and all of Jon Pertwee's era just about had a great family feel to it. Caroline John as Liz in the first season as the assistant, and Katie Manning as Jo Grant for 3 years, and then Sarah Jane, played by Liz Sladen, started off at the end of the Jon Pertwee era. And of course you had the regulars through a lot of the Jon Pertwee era. Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier, John Levine as Sergeant Benton, Richard Franklin as Captain Yates, for some of the time Roger Delgado playing the Master. I just love the atmosphere and the feel of season 7, and I just love the Silurians. I mean, the thing is, you could say setting Doctor Who on Earth restricts it, and I know Terence Dicks made a comment, well, what stories can we do now? And Malcolm Hulke, one of the writers, said, well, you can either do Alien Invasion of Earth or Mad Scientist. But one of them thought, well, what if the monster, or whoever they were, had been there all the time? And that's what we had with the Silurians, who came back in Doctor Who only just a week or two ago. So they have the Silurians, and I'm also very fond of the third story of that season, the Ambassadors of Death. The Doctor actually goes to space in a Mars probe. It's very exciting. And then of course the season 7 closes with Inferno. I think this is, well, it is, I don't think I know, it's my favourite Jon Pertwee story of all time. I love the bleakness to it, I love the atmosphere, I love the idea of it, I think it's great they have this drilling project into the Earth's crust, and all the green stuff comes up and people touch it and it's more or less fatal because they turn into these horrific monsters. I like the sort of doomsday scenario the drilling project creates, and how because it was a 7-part, they had to think of a way, well, how do we keep it going? So for I think the latter half of the story, they went to this parallel world where the drilling project was at a much more advanced stage. In fact, that world was doomed, and the Doctor managed to escape from there and stop the drilling project in the real world. I think that's quite an extraordinary Doctor Who story, and there hasn't been one quite like it, although we did have a few weeks ago, there was a bit of a drilling project going on in the Silurian story. I'm going to close there because I don't want to witter on, but I do know a lot about the Jon Pertwee era, and I can just talk without a script. I just know it all in my head. So I won't bore you, and I'll say goodbye and turn the camera off. I'll just say, I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow, so the TARDIS should be free of the force field now.